Day going down.
Let's go.
What rep range we working? What rep range you doing?
Like 6 to 8.
All right. 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. I'm doing 10 to 12 reps. See what we get. There you go. Control. Here we go. Come on. Some more.
Alright, how's it going everybody? Welcome to today's video. And we just saw that push workout with Jared, and today I'm just going to talk about kind of a debated topic, not a debated topic to be honest, but just a topic that many of us get over consumed in and over kind of fascinated with, and that is how many times a day should you be eating? And some people think, you have to eat 5 times a day in order for your protein synthesis to be optimal. You have to, you need to do intermittent fasting, only eat twice a day, or the more meals the better, you need to eat 7 meals a day, and you're going to get a bunch of different answers from a bunch of different people. So I hope to kind of clear the air here and really just kind of dumb this down a little bit and save you from some trouble. So right off the bat, the biggest thing I want to mention here is just people get too caught up in this and they make this their number one priority rather than focusing on their training, what they're eating, how much they're eating. They focus on when they should be eating. And that right there is one of the biggest mistakes people often make, and it's one of the first mistakes people make. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, well, I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm eating 5 times a day, so and that should make my weight just fall right off. But no, that's not the truth. What matters, and what you really need to hear, if you can take one thing away from this video, I want you to hear this. What matters in terms of gaining muscle, losing weight, is your calories in, calories out, and whether you're hitting your macronutrients or not. I talk about this so much. Macros, macros, macros. You guys are probably fucking sick of this, but that's what really matters. And so macros are what matters the most. Macros matter. Think of that. Macros matter. So after that, that's your priority number one in terms of your diet. Then second off, then you can maybe focus a little bit on the timing. And what I'd like to say for people who are concerned with meal timing, always I tell them focus on the macros, but then in terms of timing, just do whatever works best for you. If you work a 9 to 5, eat your breakfast, eat a snack, lunch, snack, dinner. That's pretty much like really common for most people who are working in the 9 to 5ers. If you are someone who is very busy all day, if you like intermittent fasting, go ahead and do intermittent fasting. That's fine. As long as you're getting your total macros in for the day, that's just fine. If you're someone, who likes to save majority of their food for later in the day, but still eat, the breakfast, lunch, dinner, but save majority for later in the day, that's cool too. I personally save a lot of my food for later in the day as well, but that's just a preference thing. So just because something doesn't matter, it doesn't mean it can't really be the most optimal. And what's optimal for, muscle growth, muscle gain, having stronger muscles, is giving them protein roughly 4 to 5 times per day. And that is just what is optimal. I don't recommend everyone to focus on this because you're just gonna get way too caught up in it and it's not gonna matter. So with this 4 to 5 times a day, the only people that really need to be concerned with that is bodybuilders or someone who is a professional athlete or is prepping to step on stage to win a bodybuilding competition, because there's a lot of other factors that come into play for that. And I don't even want to get into those because those aren't really the point of this video. The point of this video is just to show you that it doesn't really matter. So if you want to eat 3 meals a day, that is just fine. If you want to eat 2 meals a day, that's fine. If you want to eat fucking 6 meals a day, that's fine. And it all just depends on the individual, what their goals are, what their lifestyle is like, and just a bunch of other random factors. So if you look at myself, I'm trying to put on as much muscle as I can right now. I'm in a bulk. And because of that, I have to just naturally and genetically eat a lot of food. Like now I'm eating just over 4,000 calories a day. And because of that, that affects kind of how I am and what I prefer. So if I ate 4,000 calories within 2-3 meals, that's that's over 1,000 calories per meal. It's probably close to like 1,300 per meal if my math is somewhat correct. But either way, that's a lot of food, and I would feel pretty garbage if I had to eat that every meal. So what I like to do is spread my food out as much as I can. I'll wake up, have a tiny little bit of food before the gym, get home from the gym, have a really big meal. Halfway through that, I'll have a little snack, which is, for me, it's a lot of calories. Or for the average person, it'd be a lot of calories, but for me, it's just a snack. I'll have my lunch, I'll have another decent sized snack or meal, and then right before I go to bed, I'll have another big meal. And in each of those meals, except for the meal right before the gym, each of those meals has about 20 to 40 grams of protein in it. And that's just really what is most convenient for me at this time being. So if you can, it's most optimal to spread out your protein as much as you can throughout the day, just because your body will be able to process it a little bit more efficiently. And that's the key word here, just like being more optimal and efficient. Because something, either way, it's going to be good no matter what. But if you want to absolutely be the most optimal, maybe 4 or 5 times is probably the better option for you. But if that's going to impede on your life and affect how you're going about your day in an unnecessary manner, do not focus on that, because the last thing I want you to do is take my advice and have it mess up your whole day, have it mess up your work or anything like that. So really, it's what works best for you. And if you do this, say you only eat 2-3 meals a day, you're not going to lose your gains. You might not grow as much as you would if you ate 5 times a day, but the results are going to be so small, especially with how the average person, you look at how hard the average person works, it's not going to make a difference. They're maybe going in there pushing 50-60% of what they actually can. They're maybe staying consistent on a regular basis. So don't get caught up in this. Priority number 1 is your macros. For my first 2 years of consistent weightlifting and stuff, meal timing was something that I didn't even let myself think about, because I knew what mattered was hitting my calories and macros, because that ultimately is what's going to fuel my body. And meal timing is a little subsection that only a certain amount of people ever need to worry about. Because when you're so advanced, such as an elite level professional bodybuilder, by no means am I that right now. That'd be cool, but I'm not that right now. But when you get to those people, every little thing starts to matter, and meal timing is just another one of those little things. But don't worry about that, because we're not, 99% of us are not elite level bodybuilders. 99% of us are just looking to get in better shape, maybe lose some fat, put on a little bit of size. Doesn't really matter. We're not the top tier, so it's not gonna matter. What matters is just the basics. Number one, focusing on your calories and macros. Number two, consistently weight training throughout the week, anywhere from 3 to 6 times per week. And number three, just keeping a good mindset with everything and knowing that what you're doing, you're gonna go in and execute on a consistent basis for months, if not years at a time. And then later on in life, if you really wanna get things dialed in, then you can focus on meal timing. But until then, focus on the basics and do what works best for you. I don't care if that's fasting, eating 6 times a day, doesn't matter. What you can live the best on, what you can feel the best on, you can go about your day the best on, that's what you need to do. So I hope you guys took something away from this little commentary section and put this into use and make yourself better. So I'll see you guys in the next one. So see you guys later. Peace.